The biggest My Singing Monsters update ever. Well, today, come on over here. This over here, the Colossals, I do think is our answer. So let's go into what my ideas are for what a Colossals update would include. How many colossal spirits are there then? Well, if we take all of the islands into consideration, there are 14 colossal spirits. We have Plank, Cold, Air, Water, Earth, Haven, Oasis, and Amber Island, which all share the exact same colossal spirit that binds them together. Sugarbush, Ethereal, Wobbling, Celestial, the Colosseum, Composer, Tribal, and Gold. Each of which of these colossal spirits have been bound to the islands since the cataclysm of the continent, which resulted in the natural islands. A huge shake where they each bound themselves to the islands to save the monsters and fell into a very deep slumber, which since they have not awoken from. The rest of the islands, including all the magical ones that we haven't been over, feature titans, which actually are the huge land masses. When looking at the colossals, they are in fact spirits that are imbued into the islands rather than the actual islands themselves. So as for how we are going to get these colossal spirits in game, then for this biggest update, yes, I do believe is going to determine how big this update is going to become. I think there are two methods in integrating the colossals into the game. The first idea that I have to put forward is a colossal themed island. This would be based around the concept of reuniting all of the colossals on one island. So take all of the colossal spirits that we've just been over and put them all on one island. Essentially, we are culminating here every single colossal based island across the game, a joining of all the monsters really. Lots of people are always suggesting the idea of an all monsters like island. I think this is as close as we would get to that concept, and it's so exciting to imagine all of the colossals finally reuniting. We have no idea what they would look like, and to see them be on an island itself would be really interesting, but also to see what effects this could have, I think is just such a thrilling concept. We could get the chance to discover all of the colossals' names. As of now, the colossals all go unnamed. We only really know them by the islands that they are on, so getting a chance to name them alike to what the titans have with their names, I think would be a really cool chance to explore these spirits and their past and go really in depth with their lore. We know tons behind the colossals, how they saved all of the monsters and how they created the monster world, but still there's so much mystery and intrigue behind them, and going more in depth with that would be so exciting. Especially I think with this island they could go into the idea of the song being the Great Song. The Great Song is the song that created the monster world, as we went over inside of the lore journals, and they could really encapsulate that on this island and make it a lore-based song rather than just a song which the monsters sing, which would be really exciting. It would accelerate the story behind the game so much. Not just that though, I think this would be the biggest island yet. You're talking here, guys, the very things that created the monster world. These things would be grand. Make them well animated, huge, epic beings. Unlike anything we've seen before, make them exciting and thrilling. They created the monster world. So trying to picture what these animated beings could be like on an island with them being set on is so out of the ordinary for the game. They could have unique powers in their animation, fly, aura, powers, everything. Just bring it on. These monsters created the monster world, and by that fact alone, they should have unique powers, I do think, that should be integrated into themselves. I think they should be almost like Wurbogs, because these beings are just so tremendous. We know the grand size of the island masses that they encapsulate and how much power must have been bestowed by them in the first place to bind to these huge islands that we see inside of the game. So just by that fact alone, I think these creatures should be absolutely ginormous, and just like to Wurbogs, that kind of size. Wurbogs, yeah, created the Wubblins, but we are talking right here, guys, the very founders of the monster world and all of the monsters in My Singing Monsters. We're talking grand scale stuff right here. There's 14 colossal spirits, and they all stand for fans' wishes that they have wanted for years. We've all wanted to see the colossals come forward, and I think this is the chance for the monster handlers to go all out. We've seen them really upgrading their animation skills and everything. We've seen epic Wurbogs now, and I think the colossal spirits could really take them a step further. We could see actual interactions with the colossal island itself. I think for the colossals, seen as though they are integrated with the islands themselves, a really cool callback onto that would be for them to actually integrate themselves in some way in their animations or whatever into the island itself and interact with it almost, perhaps through aura like Enchantling does. Something like that I think could really encapsulate them so well and boost that momentum even further. This could be the very biggest update ever, guys. Make them one-up Wurbogs. Make them bigger than Wurbogs. Let them be unique, spirit-like beings beings. I think that Colossal Island, just as a concept overall, is something that even my mind can't handle, guys. And they need to do something based around the Colossals just by this fact alone, as I think they have such huge, outstanding potential that just hasn't been harnessed as of yet. They're so integrated into the lore and everything behind the game. Why can't we have an update just be around the Colossals, guys? Now, my second idea, besides the Colossal Island, is the most natural route that I think everyone always assumes when they are imagining the Colossals being awoken. So rather than seeing spirits on Colossal Island, we could see the actual island awakening. And I think this is the biggest one that people speculate upon, as I've said. So what fans picture inside of this is the island to awaken in the first place. And I think going back to this idea is the main stepping stone towards this whole Colossals update, because this is the very thing that people will get excited about. Seeing Enchantler awaken on the Sanctum was such a momentous occasion. You could see fans getting so excited by it, and just to encapsulate that once more with these colossal creatures, I think would be a huge missed out opportunity if they didn't just go ahead and do it. It would be an epic cool gamer moment. Getting to see Plant Island and all the islands finally awaken and see what they look like and see them animate amongst the monsters. Yes, it would be such a cool moment. Just make it happen everywhere, all across the islands. Make the islands themselves be a part of the song. They've been there dormant for ages, and just getting that in game, I feel like would be such a cool moment. But guys, I am about to blow your minds right now. Now, we've been over those two concepts, but right now, I want to suggest the merging of both ideas. I think in order for the Colossals to truly get the update that they deserve, they should both be spirits on a colossal-based island, whatever you want to call it. But I think also, once they are retrieved on the colossal-based island, that they should indeed cause the islands themselves to awaken. This is the very concept that people get just so excited about, and taking that one step further with the colossal spirits, I feel like is just such a right way to go down. This could be the biggest update yet. I am literally trembling with excitement while making this video. By doing this, the Colossals would get a chance to resemble their unbindment from the islands by showing the islands themselves being awoken. The Colossals' powers, guys, do not have any bounds. We know about how they saved the monsters and how they created the monsters, and honestly, if they can't just reawaken the island just to make the monsters feel even more integrated into the song, by encapsulating the island even more into it and making it more overpowering the song, I feel like there would be a bit of something wrong there, guys, because these beings are the very founders of the monster world, and they have untoward power, guys, and I can honestly see it being the case that they would be able to reawaken the islands themselves. Can you imagine that for a second too, guys? You get in these colossal, amazing spirits with Wubbox-like animations and cool flight powers, aura, and everything inside of their animations, these gigantic beings on this colossal-based island, and then for you finally to see them also awaken the islands themselves like we have wanted for years. Imagine the feeling you would get from that. Imagine the epicness, the prestige you would feel too of having this power over the islands and getting to showcase them amongst friends and people being able to see these islands awakening. I can honestly see it being one of those cool gamer moments where just everyone all of a sudden wants to join in. And honestly, guys, if My Singing Monsters is to go a step further, I believe this could really attract people, because Wubbox, yes, is one of the most well-known monsters, but taking that a step further and potentially one-upping Wubbox with the Colossal Spirits animations, as these are the founders of the monster world and therefore should go beyond Wubbox, is so exciting. And not just that, but also integrating what fans have wanted for years, in that being awakening the islands themselves, is so invigorating and hard to imagine. Picture that for a second. I cannot certainly picture it. But anyway, let's go over to Monster Handler Matt, who for a second, as Monster Handler Matt, has a bit of info that might collide with our ideas behind this Colossal update.
What is that symbol? It appears throughout all different areas of the monster world. It is the signature of the Colossals.
So Matt has mentioned here that the Colossal signature that we see across Stonehenge, with the mysterious rock that has floated around the Wonder Mine, absolutely everywhere inside of the monster world, resembles the Colossals. And this is why, therefore, I believe that this sigil that the Colossals use as their signature should be the element signature for the Colossals. Just imagine that right now. Across Amber Island, we've seen this signature absolutely everywhere. It stands for what the Colossals have created. They help create these things across the monster world. The Wonder Mine, Amber Island, Stonehenge, Stonehenge. They created the Celestials before anything else, and all of these concepts just finally integrating themselves into the Colossals would be a grand moment for the game. I think they should really integrate it into the Colossal Island itself and the Colossal spirits, place it everywhere across the island, make it be known that this is the Colossal Sanctuary. This is where they come from, and this is where they will stay. This signature just really empowers the fact that these Colossals need to go above and beyond, as they have been teased therefore for years and years. They have literally been teased for as long as the game has begun, perhaps even before. Make it be known. When you are reawakening the Colossals, place it on the floor, make it go all out, make the animations light up, do absolutely everything with these Colossals. Make it be known that they are the creators and that these are next level beings coming into the game. So now we've been over what the Colossals could be like in concept, let's go over how I believe that the Colossals could be awoken, as we have these cool ideas, yes, but we also need a bit of a founding block now to present these ideas so that we can actually unlock them inside of the game. Now, there'd be lots of energy needed in order to harness these beings. We know that the Colossals inhabit huge land masses. The islands that we're seeing in game don't even show the entire Colossal itself. The Colossals go off screen because they're that big, guys, and picturing the little Wubox on top of it and these Colossals having such grand power, yes, the Colossals are going to require a lot of energy. So therefore, I do believe that this is going to potentially need some new mechanic, and I have quite a few ideas. I don't necessarily have the full picture as towards what this could look like, but I do think it should be tied towards the Wuboxes. The Wuboxes provide neurons for the Colossals whilst they are inhabiting the huge land masses. So going by that, you would presume that Wubox would also have some kind of solution as for what would be needed for these Colossals to awaken in the first place. I'm not sure how on earth you would integrate Wubox into the actual game mechanics behind it. Maybe that is something that could be put in the trailer otherwise, or something else, but either way, we are going to be needing a lot of energy, and seeing as though these are going to be absolutely huge, grandiose beings, I see it being something that, yes, has to be tied to the individual island that the Colossal comes from itself, but I also see it being something that needs to be kind of just hard to get. These are huge beings, and I feel like it needs to be an escapade that players need to go on to make it be worth it. Yes, make it available to players who play every single day. Make it be like regular content, but this needs to be something game-changing. This needs to be like Wubox level, where this new mechanic comes in and it encapsulates, yes, this is brand new, something else, and this is going to be big. If we are going to have the island awakening and the Colossal spirit come to life, we need this to be big. I'm not sure what currency it would grant. I'm thinking along the lines that it could grant island buffs. I think that would be a really interesting solution, especially if it is going to awaken the island itself, the Colossal spirits, once they are awoken, but I think they should produce coins too. The Colossals are like to Wubox in ways, and seeing as though Wubox produces coins too, I think it should go both ways. But seeing as though these are the Colossals and they are the founding monsters of the monster world, I think it could quite easily be tied to some kind of new mechanic inside of the game. For what Colossal spirits could look like, I have this Ikonki design, which has been called Ikonki by Lyquad666 on Instagram. They've created what a plant island Colossal could look like inside of the game, and I think this encapsulates what you could kind of expect from the Colossals. I think they should really go all out with the animations and stuff for this, make it more grandiose, really much taller than this design that Lyco has come up with, but a really cool concept that I think really shows what the Colossal spirits could be capable of. I really want to go one step further with Wubox with these designs, as these are the founders of the monster world, and seeing as though the spirits too, you could get really funky with the animations for it, seeing as though they probably would be flying. So yeah, I really do think that they could go fully out there, especially with the magic powers that they likely do possess. These animations need to be so good, I do think, for the Colossals. And if this update is to come, it would be so worth it, guys. If this update ever is a reality, I would freak out. We have the 10th anniversary of the game coming up really soon, and I would love to get something like this. I think it would just sum up the game so well for the 10th anniversary, and I just really want this update, guys. This is the thing that I've most wanted ever inside of the game, and I'm finally getting a chance to talk about it. Make sure to go and watch the lore journals if you would like to know more about the Colossals and the lore behind the game. If you enjoyed this though, guys, please do make sure to leave a like and to subscribe down below too, guys. I'm going off now to absolutely edit this thing to death. I am so excited to get into this video. I will see you guys later though for now. Bye.